My first amendment has to do with drop boxes. Surprise, surprise. Drop boxes did not exist before COVID, and we got along just fine. And there are numerous mechanisms to vote by absentee, and we are expanding them constantly, as you all well know. The drop boxes are certainly an issue, and we should absolutely address them. But they're just a symptom. They are a symptom of a larger problem. And the larger problem is the series of policies passed by our state government over the last, I would say, at least 4 or 5 years, but maybe a decade, that have effectively eviscerated many of the protocols that we have that protect our election process. This is a much more narrowly tailored amendment that effectively says that we will suspend drop boxes in the city of Bridgeport until we receive the report from the election monitor. I mentioned in my lead up to the calling of the amendment, this is very straightforward. This does not alter the provisions that allow people to vote by absentee ballot. Nothing changes. They still can use the same exact reasons they can use today. No one is restricted. No one is disenfranchised. The only difference is we are taking the decision to mail mountains and tons of paper through the mail by political operatives and campaigns away from them, and we are empowering the voter to make the decision to get an absentee ballot. It is specific to absentee ballots only, and what it would do is it would require that someone voting by absentee would have to provide a photo identification at the same time that they're submitting it. And along with this requirement, we are including a provision that the state of Connecticut would waive the fee for someone to have such an ID. This is a very straightforward amendment. It effectively says that anyone who willfully violates any provision of Chapter 145, and if you want to look that up, that is the section in Connecticut statute pertaining to absentee ballot elections, will be guilty of a Class D felony with a mandatory minimum term of imprisonment of 12 months, which may not be suspended or reduced. It goes on to say that anyone that makes a false statement in absentee balloting would also be guilty of a Class D felony, which I believe is current law, but with a mandatory minimum term of imprisonment of 12 months, which may not be suspended or reduced. We came in to a special session of the Connecticut General Assembly, and we took up a bill having to do with elections. And the minority party attempted repeatedly to inject some policy changes into our laws to address what is on the daily news cycle, giving us great concern. And in every case, our amendments were turned down on a party line vote.